All right, we want to start off by giving all praise to Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Hashem,
Bahashem, Yahweh Shai,
Yahushai, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and or GMS. Peace and blessings to the elect. I'm Zakaria
Sha'ar, Qadar.
from the GMS Dallas camp, and we have a lesson that we, kind of been pondering over, and the lesson is referring to how people like to see the wonders and the things the Most High created, and they worship those things instead of worshiping the creator of those things. They worship the creature more than the creator, as it says. I believe it says that in Romans. But what we're going to read in Wisdom of Solomon is kind of breaking that whole thing down. As these people, we have the beautiful flowers in the back. These people will see these flowers and want to worship the flower instead of the creator or the spirit that created them. So we're going to start off by reading from Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13, and we'll start at the top.
Come, this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13, verse 1. Surely vain are all men by nature, who are ignorant of the Most High, and cannot out of the good things that are seen know him that is.
That's right. Not out of the good things, know he that is, or like we say, he is. They're looking at these plants and things. It's gonna keep going. They're looking at all these things and they're saying, "Well, we're gonna worship the sun because it always comes up. It always is there on time. It's this wonderful entity in the sky. But the sun isn't to be worshipped. It's the creator of the sun. It's the creator of the moon, the creator of the stars in heaven. Why would you worship the stars in heaven when there was a creator for the whole galaxy, the whole Milky Way, whatever you want to say? Go ahead.
And it says, neither by considering the works did they acknowledge the workmaster.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they did. They never acknowledged the Most High out of it. They would acknowledge the creature more than the creator, like you mentioned earlier.
That's right.
Verse 2. But deemed either fire or wind or swift air or the circle of the stars or the violet water or the lights of heaven to be the gods which govern the world.
See, they look at those things and they get mesmerized and taken back by the hurricane. So they'll say, now there's a god of the wind.
That's right.
And the what is it? A tsunami comes where the water's up to, we'll say, a mile high. Maybe I'm exaggerating too much. The water's up a mile high, and they'll say the God of the water. All those things are a creation of the Most High. Those things aren't to be worshipped. The water is not to be worshipped. The air is not to be worshipped. It's the Most High that is to be worshipped. Go ahead.
That's right. Come. Verse 3. With whose beauty, if they being delighted, took them to be gods, let them know how much better the Lord of them is.
Let them know how much, and that's what our job is to do, is to show the elect, not everybody, to show the elect that it's the Most High that's to be worshipped. All praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, not all praise to a flower or to the sun or to some trees. And as me and this brother were talking about trees, we were going over how you put a seed in the ground, and like you see the flowers in the back, most seeds you put them in the ground and it takes about 3 days to germinate. And as people look at that, they say, man, that's beautiful. But what's even more beautiful is you looking the real life examples of what the Most High did with his son. Yahushua was put to death on the cross, but how many days did it take for him to come back? It was 3 days. That same germination period. But that's just the Most High doing his work. It's not, it is a wondrous event, but it's not something to, you don't look at the tree as something to be worshipped. The tree didn't die for nobody. The tree didn't do anything for nobody. But you'll look at the tree to be worshipped more than Yahushua. With all these, that's just how the Most High set up the world. He has that same process, life and death. But as we see it for truth. We don't see it for, we don't see these flowers in the back and get taken back like, oh man, so many colors. We putting them on the wall, praying to the flower, praying to an evergreen tree because it never turns brown or never loses leaves. You want to say something?
Yeah, the water. Yeah, like we read it Wisdom of Solomon 13:1. It says, vain in all men by their nature. All right. And so that word stands out, which is the word all. All men by our nature are we vain. So what did the Most High, what did the Heavenly Father have to do? He had sent his son which was an exact mimic or exact video of the book of the law. He pretty much walked it in perfection. So instead of us having to read these certain things and hard for us to comprehend certain things, he showed us the work, showed us how the Most High works, showed us how he does things. So with him using the example of him dying for 3 days, like the beautiful example, like we're bringing up of the germination process for 3 days, he showed us, because we had to see things through this way, because we were dismayed at the signs of heavens or whatever, or the creature. You know, we pretty much understood the creature more than the creator. So when Yahweh, the Yahweh Shai sent the sun down, he used worldly or carnal examples to make us understand the goodness of his works and what he could do.
That's right.
Because we were worshiping these things, like the brothers mentioned beautifully. We were worshiping the stars, the moon, the flowers, and everything. But he would break it down to an example of how he would do things to show us the spiritual meaning of what he was talking about. You know, he had to break it down to that carnal level. Mind if I bring that precept out? God, this is Matthew chapter 12. I'm going to start at verse 39. And it says, "But he answered and said unto them, An evil and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign." And that's what we were doing. We would have to seek after a sign. We would have to look at the stars or the flowers or the moon or the sun. And it considered that being a wicked, adulterous generation, because when you read this, we were under the influence of the Roman Empire, who were pagans around that time. Okay? So we were definitely a heavy, wicked, adulterous generation, and we had strayed away from the Heavenly Father, and we started worshiping idols. Okay? But it says, "An evil and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given unto it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas. For as Jonas was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth." Like you had mentioned, the whole germination process in the earth for the 3 days. Is he not the seed of Jesse? The root of Jesse did not come from a seed. He was dead. He was in the earth for 3 days and risen back up like a root. Like when the germination process takes place, that seed cracks open and begins to sprout, turns to a tree, a branch.
And that's a beautiful thing that happens. That's a beautiful thing that happens.
That's right.
But these people out here want to relate, they don't want to see the truth of Yahweh Shai, or the truth of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and that example that was for the whole nation. They want to look at these flowers and worship flowers. They want to look at all these earthly things. Who went through that same process, but really means nothing in the big scheme of things. It's about the Most High and his will for his people.
That's right.
And not everybody's not going to get it. Therefore, we don't put it out there for everybody. But those that understand will say, "Damn, that's all right. That's all right. That's a good way to think about it." Because that is a beautiful thing that the Most High had his son go through the same process of all earthly things. You go through the same process. And we see it as a wonderful thing to be worshipped. But these dumbasses are worshiping a tree.
Right.
That goes through the same process but can't do nothing for you. Can't help you in no way. You look at the evergreen tree because it doesn't turn brown and all that. You look at that like, man, that tree has superpowers or something like that. That's where you get a lot of this origin of Christmas and things like that. But go ahead. I didn't mean
No, that's all good. That's pretty much it on that one.
You got it.
You want to start at 1?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. This is Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 1. "Hear ye the word which the Most High speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Most High, Learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
Go ahead.
For the heathen are dismayed at them, for the customs of the people are vain."
That's what they do. They're dismayed at the signs of heaven. For example, when the fall time comes, they used to have rituals of harvest festivals and all that. Most of the time because they were scared and they had fears of not being able to have food to survive for the winter. They were dismayed at the signs of heaven.
That's right.
It was about to get cold and it was about to frost. But they would see that evergreen tree that would never, like I said, turn brown. And they would look at that tree to be worshipped instead of worshiping the Creator.
Yep.
That's a way of the heathen, and we're not supposed to be like that at all. But our people get caught up in this madness too. Our people are following after all kinds of different ways and everything but the truth. You can long list the Catholic Church, the Buddhism, all that stuff, Rastafarianism. Our people are leading the charge on those things. We're totally caught up in that madness too. But the elect, as they hear these words, they'll get it and they'll understand. That's it on that.
I got a little more. You don't want that?
Yeah, that's
okay.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Let me start back over.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 3. For the customs of the people are vain, for one cutteth the tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
go ahead.
It just backed up, pretty much what you said. They looking at the creation itself and and all, but not, giving all praise to Yahweh, to the Most High.
That's right.
It's kind of like when a child is well raised. Honestly, that's why when Yahweh Shah was when they the paps that the story about when it's like give all praise to Mary. You know what I'm saying? Because under that vibration, they like Yahweh Shah was the one who was prophesied to put in the work for the nation of Israel, not Mary. And of course, like I always say, no disrespect to the deliverer's mother, but it's Yahweh Shah who's doing the work, who's that seed.
That's right.
Who's dying, who died for the nation of Israel, and of course, the Most High put them in that position.
Mm-hmm.
So people had it, basically they had their priorities jacked up.
That's right.
Opposed to, oh man, this is that. You gotta think like, man, somebody created this, man.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta go off of past times and ancient times just to even come up with a creation. To be quite honest with you, you have to know things of the past to even create something. So you're not nothing new under the sun yourself. Mm-hmm. You're not nothing amazing when you create something. The Most High put those thoughts in your head to even create something. So you a computer at the end of the day, at the beginning and the end of the day.
That's right.
Yeah, our people had some sort of idea. Just because, when you go to Hebrew, which there were plenty of Hebrews back then, it means of the past. So we had some sort of idea on how things were ran and how things were created. We just didn't recognize the fact that it was Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah that was doing it.
Yeah.
And we would go to the creation, you know what I'm saying, more than the one that created it. Yeah. We would go to the sun, moon, the stars, whatever the case might be. Yeah. But we didn't want to go to the ultimate beautiful power that created those beautiful things. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's right. When you're dealing with plants and trees and things like that, you have some plants that are self-seeding. So self-seeding being once that one tree grows up, it's going to have seeds that fall along the ground around it. And as they grow, you're gonna see a whole bunch of trees growing, and that's the same thing with people. Yeah, that's just how the Most High set it up. Yeah. A man puts a seed in a woman, and it just continues along the creation. So as you're looking at that tree and all, that's being simple-minded, but we understand that you people are simple-minded. Mm-hmm. We're speaking to the elect, and we're saying that as you see these beautiful things around you, you got to go deeper. Look at Yahweh Shah. Look at what Yahweh did with Yahweh Shah. He is a perfect example for our sin, so that we can be covered, so that we won't have to be a perpetual slave. We won't have to be a perpetual bottom of the barrel person. As Yahweh Shah died, now we are a whole different plant, a whole different animal. You gotta
not spirit kind of changed.
So
it's all good.
I got that one in Isaiah for you.
Okay.
This is Isaiah chapter 11, verse 1. And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots.
And that's beautiful because we keep using these examples of trees and seeds and things like that. That is what you want to worship, something that's beautiful. You're looking at these flowers. The simple mind says that's beautiful, but what about Yahweh Shah? Yeah. That ultimate being that was sacrificed for us. That's beautiful. Mm-hmm. Because there was no other way for us to, be brought back to the Most High. That's what's beautiful.
Yeah.
These flowers are cool, but Yahushua and that perfect example, that's the beauty to be worshipped, to be looked at in awe.
That's right.
You know?
Let's hit on that.
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13. I'm going to go to verse 2 again, just so we know we left off.
Mm-hmm.
It says in verse 2, but deemed either fire or wind or swift air or the circle of the stars or the violent water or the lights of heaven to be gods which govern the world, with whose beauty, if they being delighted, took them to be gods.
Mm-hmm.
Let them know how much better the Lord is. How much better the Lord of them is, for the first author of beauty hath created them.
Just like we read in Jeremiah 10, they took that tree, cut it down, and put it in their house. They took that to be a god. That's what these people are doing. That's why you have sun worship, because they looked at the sun and the beauty of the sun, and they fell in awe of that. Now they worship the sun. And you got a whole, thousands of years of heathen worship of the sun, but what all started from the stem of just stupidity.
That's right.
From just the stem of, brute beast. But our people wanted to be like the brute beast instead of following the ways of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua.
That's right. If I could say, even in scriptures, I believe it's in Wisdom of Solomon, but it even talks about idolatry was one of the first signs of wickedness. Like when you go to Ezekiel, the 8th chapter, I can't remember the exact verse, but it clearly tells us, as us being the children of Zion, the daughter of Zion, how our people would have our backs turned toward the Heavenly Father. We would have our head, or the back of our heads facing the Most High, and the fronts of our faces faced toward the sun of the moon, and worshiping that.
That's right.
And what was the ultimate judgment for it back then? It was death. It was death, because our people were very folly, very ignorant to the fact that we would worship something that He created. It looks nice, it looks beautiful, but like we just read in Wisdom of Solomon, the 13th chapter, we need to give reference for the author of beauty. He's the one that created the beauty of that. He's the author of all of it. So why not give reference to the divine creator of that creation? There's really the only divinity in that creation is the divinity that the author of it placed into it. His mighty works, His wonderful works. Okay, it's all carnal stuff at the end of the day. It's all carnal things at the end of the day. It looks nice, but there's nothing spiritual involved but the spiritual entity that created that item or that object. Okay.
If I can say this, Jake is like that today with Jake who's who created something, or Jake who's known for inventing something. A lot of our people are disrespectful towards those people. They have knowledge of what they're talking about. You have this show that was pretty popular, just came out not too long ago, called The Get Down. It basically tells the beginning of hip hop music or what have you. And then of course, just on a carnal, example, people over the past years, I don't like that hip hop. I don't like the hip hop. But they sit there and enjoy the fruits of the hip hop, but they don't give honor to those who created it. You know what I'm saying? Those who showed them how to use the turntables. This is how you do that. They never give those guys props. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of it's crazy, man. That even like on that carnal level, that how our people are. You got all this beautiful stuff, but you gotta sit there and take time. Like, man, the forest, man, Yahweh did this thing, man. The Yahweh the angels, man. But nobody never is, it's like, once again, like on that carnal level, like, man, when so and so was mixing, man, when they talk about how hip hop first started, like, man. But later on down the line, man, yeah, I do this and that. But you never hear anybody give those guys props. It's right. Even on a carnal level. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
It's kind of like a boxer, doing the rope-a-dope, and everybody know the rope-a-dope came from Muhammad Ali. But somebody asked me about Muhammad Ali. No, I ain't into Muhammad Ali or this and that. Bro, that man invented that. It's like the higher power.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? But Jake is like that, and the scriptures prove that. That's why these examples are in the Holy Scriptures.
That's right.
And who gave Muhammad Ali the idea of the rope-a-dope?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's
the Most High.
The Most High.
Yeah.
That's right.
Who created the computer, the artificial intelligence in the computer? When you get your behind beat on the video game, and you like, man, this dang ball carrier knew exactly where I was gonna go before I did it. And you get mad at the game and throw the controller.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the artificial intelligence. But who created that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a dope game. Oh, yeah, the Most High is even 100 million times doper than that BS video game you're playing. You know?
That's right. All these are beautiful examples. What we're going to do is just jump to verse 11. Just in the interest of time, we're just going to start there. But this is a beautiful chapter to read as concerning this topic.
God.
But go ahead.
Wisdom of Solomon 13 and 11. Now a carpenter that falleth timber, Salakia, after he hath sawn down a tree meet for the purpose, and taken of all the bark skillfully round about, and hath wrought it handsomely, and made a vessel thereof fit for the service of man's life.
Mm-hmm.
And after spending the refuse of his work to dress his meat, hath filled himself, and taken the very refuse amongst those which served to no use.
None of these things that they're doing, they're putting all this effort into these buildings, into these, towers. And the towers are made of glass and all these things that they're putting all this effort in. It don't mean nothing to nobody.
Mm-hmm.
But they worship these things. They boast themselves in these things. Each one of the kingdoms that have passed, they boasted themselves in how beautiful their kingdom was. But all these things that they built up, these big statues and big monuments to themselves, that shit ain't do nothing for them. The same way Greece went down, Rome went down, the same way America's going down, right along with them.
Mount Rushmore. Okay, that's going to get taken down as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, brother. And when it says the refuse of it, you know what I mean? When you go to that word refuse, it just means the leftover of it. You know, so if it's a god and it's so powerful it does this, I mean, you're going to hold the leftovers for something, but the leftovers they were used for BS knick-knack stuff. I'm pretty sure Mount Rushmore, out of that item that created the leftovers of the rocks, they used it for something else, so it must not have been too powerful. It's just the leftovers of the remainders of the item. It's stuff that's in vain. You know, it's meaningless. It ain't going to serve no purpose. If it was all that divine and true, you would be able to use the whole thing. You gonna get a tree, carve it, make a face out of it, and you're going to throw the remainders of it away. It must not have been too powerful if you're throwing parts of it away.
That's right.
The Most High comes in whole, and every single bit of his power is used for great services.
That's right.
Everything he has, it has what's the word I'm looking for? It has use to it, like was mentioned, Shalakia.
Good.
Let me keep going?
Yeah,
Khan. In verse 13, and taking the very refuse amongst which those serve to no use, being a crooked piece of wood and full of knots, hath carved it diligently, with he had nothing else to do, and formed it by the skill of his understanding, and fashioned it to the image of a man.
So you did all that, but at the end of the day, it's still a piece of wood.
Yep.
It's still a funky piece of wood.
Yep.
But you made it into something that you think is beautiful, and now you see fit for it to be worshipped. But we're here to tell you there's only one thing or idea or entity to be worshipped, and that's Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai.
Yeah.
Not your carved piece of wood, not your tall skyscraper building, not your cars, not your airplanes, none of that. It's all Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Because as you understand, if you built an airplane, where did you get the elements from to build the airplane?
Right.
All of that stuff came from the earth.
Mm-hmm.
How did the earth get here? You didn't put the earth here. You have no clue how to form an earth. Right. If you would, if the so-called white man knew that, there would be earths all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're talking to the elect and telling the elect, all we have to do is continue to think deeper, past these low-level nations, the Gawayam, because they're given the worship of the flowers, but we have the true understanding.
That's right, brother. Come.
Oh.
Verse 14, or made it like some vile beasts, laying it over the vermilion, and with paint covered in red, and covered every spot therein.
Mm-hmm.
And when he had made a convenient room for it, set it in a wall, and made it fast with iron.
Mm-hmm.
For he proved for it, for he provided for it, that it might not fall, knowing that it was unable to help itself.
So what the scriptures are saying is, if it was that important, if it was that much of something to be worshipped, why do you have to fasten it to a wall?
Right.
Why do you have to prop it up on something? It should, if it's to be worshipped and it can answer your prayers and provide for you, then why do you have to prop it up?
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't have to prop it up.
Okay.
It should be able to do all those things on its own.
Mm-hmm. Come. You got something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Come. Okay. Verse 16. For he provided for it that it might not fall, knowing that it was unable to help itself, for it is an image and hath need of help.
Mm-hmm.
Then maketh he prayer for his goods.
See, these flowers, they need the water to hit the ground. They need some kind of fertilizer in the ground for them to be beautiful. For them to, after that 3-day process of germination, the flowers, they need water. They need good earth. Yahushua didn't need all that.
Mm-hmm.
So all the works, the real works, are greater than these flowers and trees and things like that. That's the idea that we're trying to present. Yahushua was formed after those 3 days, came out of the earth without water. Well, you could say he had the living water, but he is the living water.
That's right.
But he didn't need you to come and pour it on him as these flowers do.
Mm-hmm.
These flowers, there's some places in earth that they can't grow out from. Yahushua is not like that. Yahushua can dig deep into the cracks of, and his word can blossom anywhere.
God. If I could say something, he needed the spirit of his father to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like when he was baptized by John the Baptist,
Yep.
it talks about a spirit coming down like a dove.
Yeah.
You know, and that when you go into that spirit that came down like a dove was the spirit of the Most High.
Yeah.
So he was absolutely, he needed some type of nourishment,
Mm-hmm.
and that came from his father, which
That
he
came-
talks about all the time.
Exactly. Not from people with a watering bucket out there pouring it over there.
Come.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
You, as the scriptures say, you worship these flowers, but go out, don't take care of those flowers, and a lot of them will die.
That's right.
Yahushua don't need that. So that's, like I said, the example that we're trying to present. These people are kind of caught up in these carnal ideas, but we have the truth. You look at these people look at the flower and say, "Man, wow, that's beautiful." The next thing you know, they put it in the house, propping it up on the wall, and you have the religion of the flower now.
Man.
You know,
That's right.
the religion of the rosebud or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
or the religion of the sun, because they sat there looking at the sun all day,
Burning their eyes and shit.
right? But we have the truth, the true beauty. Go ahead.
Okay, this is Habakkuk, chapter 2, starting at verse 18. What profiteth the graven image that the maker thereof hath graven it? The molten image and the teacher of lies, that the maker of this work trusteth therein to make dumb idols?
Mm-hmm.
Verse 19. Woe unto him that saith to the wood, awake, to the dumb stone,
That's right.
arise, it shall teach. Behold, it is laid over with gold and silver, and there is no breath at all in the midst of it.
Mm-hmm. So it's just as it talks about in Wisdom of Solomon. Take that rock and put it on the mantle and see what it does for you. You can pray to it all you want. See what it does for you. It's just, in the end of the day, it's going to be a painted rock with little eyes on it, a smile on it. Sometimes you come over there and erase a smile and put a frown on it. All at the end of the day, it's a rock. And without you smearing the nose off and writing it again, it would just be a rock. That's not to be worshipped.
Right.
So what is to be worshipped? Yahweh Bashem Yahushua.
That's right.
You got more?
Verse 20.
You can break it down.
But the Lord is in the Salakia. But the Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth keep silence before him. Keep silence before the Most High, man. Just be quiet, man. Because all your ways of thinking and your ways of worship is not profiting anything.
Mm-hmm.
All it is doing is more than anything is solidifying your judgment, man. And that's why when you look to the book of when you read the book of Judges, man, when it went down in the last scripture, it said, "Hey, man, seek out those lords that you was seeking for, see if they help you in your time of trouble."
Mm-hmm.
So that the crescent, what's that? The crescent moon and the star, to your Buddha, to your Krishna, okay, to all these shit, to the white man. Let's see. For all you Jake who like to worship the so-called white man Esau, man. Let's see what he's gonna do in these days, these next coming up days. Like literally, after that election goes down.
That's right.
And then when the tensions arise more, we're gonna see how that, because that's tangible for Jake. So you work with the white man or you work for the white man. You know what I'm saying? Esau. So that's tangible. Jake is impatient. So they need something tangible, something I can grab and feel. And when you do have it before your face, you don't know what to do with it anyway, man.
That's right, because you don't have no faith.
That's right.
You have absolutely zero faith. And the little faith you do find is sometimes you put that all in the so-called white man.
Yeah.
And his faith is in trying to keep you as low as possible. Yeah. So y'all deserve that little, crew y'all got. But we going to worship Yahweh Bashim Yahushua in truth.
That's right.
We're going to have faith in what's real, not flowers and cars and all that. We're going to have faith in truth.
Brother.
We're going to finish up with Solomon. You done?
Yes.
Cool.
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13, verse 17. Then maketh he prayer for his goods, for his wife and children, and is not ashamed to speak to that which is no light.
Not ashamed to sit up there and speak to that rock with that painted face on it. He'll sit up there all day, come home from work, look right at that rock. Help me out. I need you.
That's right.
I need you. That wood that he carved with a smile on his face, and he flip it around, have a frown on the other side, trying to give it some life. He'll come, please, rock, help me. Go ahead.
Like on, you got a lot of these people that's pulling the castaway on Tom Hanks. Wilson ain't grow legs and start paddling his way to that boat, man.
Yeah.
Wilson was long gone and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, Wilson don't got nothing to do with nothing, bro. Wilson ain't nothing but a volleyball, man.
That's right.
Salakia. Verse 18. For health, he calleth upon that which is weak. For life, prayer to that which is dead. For aid, humbly beseecheth that which hath less means to help.
Like he said, what did that volleyball or soccer ball, what did it do? Sat there with that weird look on it and just continued to be a soccer ball. It was put on the earth to be a soccer ball, and that's what it did. Played that part perfectly.
That's right.
But this dude chose to make that into something to be worshipped. But he forgot that there was a creator of all those things around. There was a creator of the soccer ball. There was a creator of the elements for that soccer ball. So he needed to come to that true understanding, but it wasn't for him.
Just like that, what's that movie, I Am Legend, with Will Smith? We had that dummy with him, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He had that dummy with him. That dummy couldn't comfort him or nothing, man.
Spitting game to the dummy.
Yeah. Crazy, man.
The end of verse 18. And for a good journey, he asketh of which cannot set a foot forward.
A rabbit's foot.
Oh, man.
Lucky Charms.
Little stone.
That's right. A sharp tooth. I've seen people worshiping all kinds of stuff. Like, I don't touch that, man. That's for good luck. I've had this with me since I was a kid. They worship those little trinkets and things like that, but what does that do for you?
Yeah.
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Last verse 19. And for gaining and getting, and for good success of his hands, asketh abilities to do of him that is most unable to do anything.
All that stuff these people get caught up in, all these different philosophies they're caught up in, none of that stuff works.
That's right.
None of that stuff works. And because they don't immediately get killed, these people continue on in doing it. But they don't see the true beauty. They just see the flower. They don't see the beauty of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. They just see the creations that were made by Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. So you brothers got any points you want to add?
That's it, man.
So with that, as always, we hope these lessons are edifying. We want to give all praise to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And peace and bless to the elect. Shalom.
Shalom.